Welcome into Tiger Den Sports. In today's show, we're going to talk all about LSU defense. We're going to go through the whole defense, and I will tell you my predictions for the depth chart and who will be starters. Hi, I'm Jason Dorsey, and let's get into the video. So, today's video, like I said, is going to be all about LSU's defense. How good will LSU defense be, and who will be the starters? We all know about LSU's defensive line and how good they're going to be. So we're going to start with the defensive line. And if you stay to the end of the video, I have a surprise for you that you may not know about. There's two players that I'm going to highlight, and you don't want to miss who they are. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe if you did not already. And also like the video. So we're going to start with the defensive line. And as we all know, you have Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojulari. That's 5 defensive linemen right there that if they were all eligible to go to the NFL, they would all be drafted. I believe Jaquelin Roy, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojulari are eligible. Jacobian Guillory might be eligible too. So they probably going to all go to the NFL next year. You still got Mason Smith, who is a beast himself, and he can take over the offensive line big time. But let's go over the starters right now. In a 4-3 defense for LSU, I believe it's going to be Ali Gay at one defensive end. It's going to be Mason Smith at one defensive tackle. The other defensive tackle is going to be Jaquelin Roy. And the other defensive end is B.J. Ojulari. That's my prediction for the first 4 starters right there. We have LSU has some great backups that can sub in and out with those 4. But that's the main core right there of LSU. And I believe with these main people, these main players, and Jamar Cain coaching them, we're going to have the best defensive line in the country. We're going to have the best, how I want to say this. The defensive line is going to have the most sacks in the league and in the country. Because what Jamar Cain did at Oklahoma, the defensive line there was the sack leaders in the country. And he's going to do the same thing at LSU with more talented players. So with that being said, that's my predicted starters. But we can go further and talk about Mekhi Wingo, who transferred in. He's going to be a big part of this defensive line. You have Quincy Wiggins, the freshman. You got Jacobian Guillory. He's a junior. He's a big-time player. He's a very strong man. Then you have Savion Jones as a defensive end, who's I think this is his second year. He's doing really good things in camp. You got Bryce Langston. So that defensive line's at least 8 or 9 deep right there. And that's big time playing in the SEC. So that's my predictions for the defensive line right now in a 4-3. Now, we're going to go over to the linebackers. And let me tell you this. I believe this defense is going to be a multiple defense. You're going to play a 3-4 at times. And you're going to play a 4-3 at times. So that's a really good thing because you can mix up your defense, mix up your coverages, play zone, play man-to-man, zone blitz, all kind of stuff. Cover one, you can do all kind of things when you're a multiple defense. So with that being said, make sure you subscribe if you haven't and like the video. And now we're going to get into the linebackers. If we play in a 4-3, I believe the linebackers are going to be Mike Jones as middle linebacker. Then you're going to have Greg Penn at one of the outside linebackers. And then the other outside linebacker, right now, I believe it's either Micah Baskerville or I believe West Weeks is taking second string reps. But Harold Perkins is not far behind. He's going to get a lot of playing time as well. But that's the 3 that I'm thinking right now. Micah Baskerville, Mike Jones, and Greg Penn. Now, in a 3-4, the 2 middle linebackers will be Mike Jones, Greg Penn. That's the 2 middle linebackers. And then B.J. Ojulari is going to play one of the outside linebackers, and I think they call that one the jack linebacker. So you got your two middle linebackers, Mike Jones and Greg Penn. You got B.J. Ojulari as your jack linebacker. And then the other outside linebacker, I believe, is going to probably be Harold Perkins because he can come off the edge. He can tackle in the backfield, rush the quarterback. He's gonna be a superstar. Now, if you haven't watched my offensive depth chart, I did a video on that as well. So make sure you go view that video after this one so y'all can see who I predicted for the offense. So that's the linebackers right now that I'm projecting to start. You still got Micah Baskerville, Harold Perkins, Mike Jones, Greg Penn, B.J. Ojulari. You have West Weeks, Kobe Fields. So you have some players that can sub in and out. Not all of them are going to be like spectacular. They might surprise us, but that's my projections right now. Y'all comment below and let me know who y'all think the defensive line starters are going to be and who the linebackers are going to be. Now, let's go to safeties. We'll go to corners last. The safeties. You got Jay Ward, Major Burns, Sage Ryan, Derek Davis. You have a guy named Matthew Laniwa. I can't pronounce his last name. I have no clue how to pronounce it. But you have that's 5 deep right there. Then you got Joe Fouché, who came over from Arkansas. So that's 6 deep right there. My projected starters is probably going to be Jay Ward and Major Burns. I'm hearing that Major Burns is tearing it up in camp. He's a very big surprise to me that he's turning out to be as good as he is. I didn't think Major Burns was going to have that much of an impact on the defense, but from everything I'm hearing in the camp, I mean, he's in the backfield, he's in coverage, he's doing everything that you want from a safety. But that's my 2 starters right now. Sage Ryan is going to sub in and out at safety, and he's probably going to sub in and out as the nickel safety. Then you also got Joe Fouché. I think he's going to sub in and out as a safety. He'd be a second string guy. He's going to play more down in the box, a hard hitter, things like that. So that's the 4 safeties that I'm looking at right now. And Derek Davis and that Matthew guy is going to be the 3rd string safeties. But that's a great safety class right now. So now we go over to corners. The cornerback room is hard to judge right now, only because we never seen them. We never seen these guys play together. We never. I mean, okay, let's take Jerick Bernard Converse. He transferred from Oklahoma State, played in over 40 games. He was great in the Big 12. Put it that way. But can he come over to the SEC and expand on what he did in the Big 12? Can he cover SEC receivers? Can he tackle SEC running backs and receivers? You know, can he bring that Big 12 game to the SEC and add upon it? That's yet to be seen, but I believe he's going to be the number 1 corner because he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He can recognize plays. And he's going to be a big-time player for LSU. The second corner is a little tougher. You got Mekhi Garner, who came over from the Raging Cajuns. Don't care for the Raging Cajuns. Never did. But anyway, him coming into LSU shows that he had a lot of potential. Brian Kelly seen in him. He's very physical, very long. So I believe he's going to do well here. Will he be a top corner in the league? Probably not. But I think he's going to be decent enough to hold down the second corner position. The nickel corner, I'm going to project that it's going to be Greg Brooks, the Arkansas transfer. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Hard hitter. Plays bump and run coverage. You don't have to worry about the nickel corner. He's going to do a great job there, covering the slot receivers. He's going to do big things for LSU. But then there's a Kobe Richardson. Kobe Richardson apparently is standing out in camp, and I'm going to talk more about him in a little later. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe now if you haven't. I'm going to talk about Kobe Richardson later, but that's the 3 corners that I'm going to say is going to play right now. Then you got LaTerrence Welsh, Jordan Allen as the freshmen that came in. Jalen David Robinson's another freshman. So, I mean, they're fighting over that 3rd and 4th and 5th corner back position. So we'll see. But that's my projection for corners. Jarick Bernard-Converse, Mekhi Garner, and Greg Brooks. The first 3 corners on the field. Followed by Kobe Richardson and then the freshman. So, with that being said, now let's highlight the 2 players that I've been telling you about. There's one linebacker that I'd never mentioned because I wanted you to wait until the end of the video to hear it. The linebacker by the name of Desmond Little. He was a defensive end for 2 years at LSU. He really didn't pan out. He really didn't do a whole lot at defensive end. He wasn't really that big and strong. But under this new coaching staff, he has put on muscle. He got bigger and stronger. He's up to 230 pounds. And they actually moved him to linebacker. He's the 2nd string jack linebacker after B.J. Ojulari. So he will give B.J. Ojulari a breather. But from what I'm hearing in camp, Desmond Little is standing out, making all the tackles, all the right reads, getting in the backfield. So that's one of the highlighted players right now that I would say to watch out for this season. The second one is a corner, and that's by the name of Kobe Richardson. I keep hearing he's running with the first team right now. I'm not sure if he's going to take over Mekhi Garner or not, because I don't know him. He came from McNeese State. They said that he put on 20 pounds over the summer. I think they said he was around 170, and now he's around 190. So that tells you about LSU's nutrition room, weight room, all that type of stuff at LSU. How good it is for that young man to gain 20 pounds of muscle, and now he can almost start at LSU over Mekhi Garner. I think Kobe Richardson's going to push Mekhi Garner for that number 2 cornerback position, because he's doing everything in camp coverage-wise, and they said he has elite speed. So with that being said, that's my 2 highlighted players. And I believe this defense is going to dominate against Florida State the first game. And I'm going to project and predict that this defense is only going to allow 24 points a game. That's my prediction on this. It's going to get better throughout the season, but I believe it's probably going to be 20 to 24 points a game LSU is going to allow. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all believe this defense is capable of, and what y'all think the point total is going to be, how many points they're going to allow each game. I hope y'all enjoyed this show. Like and subscribe now.